then there was one. Hey folks, rinimt here, and welcome back to... How's the last time until I start looking at tribe quests and all that? Final Fantasy 14 Endwalker. We are on to the healer quest. Oh my goodness. Let's close this recommendation window. Let's just go. Far from free. If you are ready to lend us your aid, I'll apprise you of the situation. We received reports of a creature believed to be a blasphemy stalked in the streets of Ala Mhigo. Troops have been assigned to track and slay the beast, but there are likely to be casualties. With most of our healers posted elsewhere, we had thought to petition you for aid. Sounds like a need better soldiers, not more healers, but if I must. Well, no man or woman alive can hold a candle to the warrior of light, but in any case, we're stretched rather thin at present. Even though we know precious little of our foe, we'd sooner turn to the best of the best now than wait for the need until the need is undeniable. No doubt my old comrades will be heartened to have you fighting alongside them. You see, as there have been no sightings of the blasphemies in our lands, we have joined with our Ala Mhigan allies in our hunt for the fiend. Trouble is, the majority of our own healers are working day and night to treat the tempered Imperials captured at Pagleton. For that reason, we too will be glad of your help. Your presence alone will be of great comfort to our troops, I'm sure. As time is of the essence, I ask that you make your way to the Ala Mhigan quarter and report for duty. Commander Alden is overseeing the hunt, and he will explain all upon your arrival. May Raubahn grant you strength. Ah, Mistress Ariana, we were told that you were on your way, but this is even quicker than expected. I'll tell Commander Alden you've arrived. So, 1 moment, please. I'm glad you could join us. The curse of doing this at night continues. Woo! Now that the far greater crisis has been resolved, we may and must turn our undivided attention to matters of a smaller but no less deadly scale. I'd like nothing more than to hear about your recent adventures, but I'm afraid such pleasantries will have to wait. As our man in Fafnir will have told you, a blasphemy is loose in Ala Mhigo. When it first appeared, the city guard were able to get most of the bystanders to safety, and for a mercy, those caught in the chaos only suffered minor injuries. But the fiend managed to escape and has not been seen since. We must find it, and soon, for as long as it remains at large, every man, woman, and child is at risk. As was the case in Fafnir, the blasphemy's very existence seems to spur the creation of lesser beasts. The longer it is allowed to roam free, the more tragedy our people will suffer. Did anyone see the change take place? There were several eyewitnesses who gave the same account. A man walking through the Ala Mhigan quarter fell to his knees all of a sudden, and a moment later transformed into the monstrosity we now pursue. But beyond the fact he was a young Highlander, we know next to nothing about him. Even the descriptions of his appearance are too vague to help identify the lad, and we have no clues as to his name or background. For all we know, he might not have even been born in Ala Mhigo, might have been the son of refugees come to visit. There are other possibilities we're investigating now. That said, I doubt his circumstances are unique. Blasphemies and beasts are born when men are overcome by despair, and whatever drove him to turn likely could have done the same to another. Therefore, if we are to prevent further tragedies, it is imperative that we identify and address the underlying cause. Until we do, we'll have no choice but to deal with the afflicted the only way we know how, by granting them a quick death. For now, I would have you join the hunt and keep my men from falling prey to these creatures. Are you up to it? You have my thanks. And as chance would have it, we have just received word that a number of beasts were spotted on the outskirts of Alagana. The troops stationed there have already put them down, but were wounded in the process. First and foremost, they need medical attention. That's where you come in. I'll meet you there. Hello, wounded and mortified fighters. But the soldiers were able to lead the beast away from the village and killed a lot of them. A victory did not come easily. It's times like these that our lack of healers is most sorely felt. I dare say they've yet to receive any treatment at all. See to their wounds while I survey the area for any stragglers that may have escaped. Once I've completed my patrol, I'll head to the village to gather eyewitness reports. Look for me thereafter. Oh, I don't even cast heal. I heal like this, I guess. Cool. Gods be good, I feel reborn. Hold on, you're Arya, aren't you? I can't believe it. You're the one who inspired me to join the resistance in the first place, and now you've come to save me in my hour of need. Never forget this. Thank you, thank you. And the alert. I saw them charge right before my eyes. Those weren't monsters I killed, but innocent men. It had to be done. There were others we had to protect, and thanks to you, I completed just that. Once I made my way back, I'll give a full account. Family, so they'll understand. For treating the wounds of those soldiers, you have my thanks, and theirs too, no doubt. It seems they were indeed successful in slaying all the beasts, if my search is any indication, but we must remain vigilant. I've also spoken with several people who witnessed the moment of transformation, though the ordeal has understandably left them rather shaken. I heard you've been through a fair few ordeals yourself, Arya. Blah, 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 blah. As for me, I've kept busy with this and that, like getting the hang of this wheelchair. Obviously, it has its limitations, but it gets me where I need to go. I'm working with this new organization as well, which is what brought me here, but no sooner had I arrived than those locals turned. Ragnfrid, I heard you were there when it happened. What can you tell us? The ones who underwent the change are the very people we were trying to help. Perhaps I should explain from the beginning. The meeting Lise held in the Royal Palace marked a turning point for all of Girabanya. It spurred us to open a dialogue with peoples and communities we otherwise would have shunned. But there are still so many problems to be addressed, and countless still struggling to build new lives for themselves. I decided to form a volunteer group, the Silver Griffins. Our main concern is the welfare of Ala Mhigans, who sided with the Empire, for whatever reason, and helping them find their place in society, in particular the surviving families of the Crania Lupi. You've changed your tune. Make no mistake, I'm not forgiving them. I don't have that in me, and I doubt I ever will. The memory of that day in the palace of Fordola asking to be locked up again after saving us all stayed with me. Got me to thinking about why she and the other youths would commit such atrocities, why they'd swear to serve the Empire. And the answer was simple, because they'd seen what we'd seen and suffered much the same. In a hell where all are condemned, they chose to betray one brother to save another. That's how the Garleans win, not by breaking you, but by making you break yourself. By making that choice the right one for a man at the end of his tether. Healing only begins with liberation, and some scars never will, regardless. Those who have returned from foreign lands may have difficulty carving out a living here, but the ones who pledge allegiance to Garlemald, it's not the Ala Mhigo we dreamed of. After 20 years of mystery, not see it all thrown away because we can't come to terms with the past. That's why I formed the Silver Griffins, to see that no one is cast aside. It's a cause I support, and it's what brought me here today. I've been acting as a mediator. And in the short time he's been with us, he's proven himself a natural, but despite our early successes, the failings of the skulls continue to refuse our help. I think I see where this is leading. They're the ones who turned, yes? Comes as no surprise, their kin torments the murderer's fellow Ala Mhigans. Anyone with a conscience would feel shame and guilt, and for some, it might be too much to bear. I thought I might know why they're turning us away. It's a sensitive matter, though, so let's go somewhere we won't be overheard. About one of the men who turned, I saw his memories. The echo. I'll not pretend I understand, but tell us what you learned. Only caught a glimpse, but that was enough. It was during the occupation, a man raising a son, only the two of them, but they were a family. Keep his boy clothed and fed, he chose to side with the Empire. He knew what the others would say, but did it anyway. And so he was branded a traitor. Every day his son listened to the jeering, the insults, but there was nothing he could do. When he came of age, he joined the Skulls, the hope it would make life easier for his father. He never dared to question his orders, no matter how depraved. He died in the revolution, but not before killing his own countrymen. His father wept not for the betrayer and murderer, but for the man he could have been. Blamed it all on himself right up until the change took him. I can only pray he and his boy have finally found peace they were denied in life. Alas, theirs is an all too familiar tale. They cannot forgive themselves, nor can they see how anyone else could. Sins of their kin weigh heavily on them. They think themselves undeserving of our compassion. If they carry on like that, they'll turn into beasts. We've got to help them before it's too late. Growing up half Garlean and Ala Mhigo, I know how it feels to be shunned and hated, to hate myself. But so long as we give ourselves and others a chance, we can change for the better. And while I might not be as clever or eloquent as someone like Alphino, I know I can make a difference. I might not be quite the sort of someone I used to be, but I'm still a fighter at heart. I owe it to Abba and Ali to make the most of this life as long as I've got it. We Silver Griffins will give our all to see that no more beasts or blasphemies ravage at Girabanya again. So, Commander Alden, do we have your approval to continue our work? Of course, there is no enemy more formidable than despair, and I'd be a fool to refuse your help. But even a single one of our people has to come to this transformation as proof of our failure to protect them. Too many low voices, Therefore, I pledge the Silver Griffins my unconditional support. Together, we will prevail. Now that we have Ari on hand to aid the troops, I believe we are ready to face any beast we encounter. Though I fear it is only a matter of time before the others appear, I ask that you lend the Silver Griffins your assistance in the meantime. Very good. For now, let's return to the city. Those who harbor guilt do so not because they are weak of heart, but because they have failed to meet the demands they make of themselves. It was the same for me when I believed that my failures had led to the Sultana's assassination. The despair and self-loathing were indescribable. I was fortunate that you and the other Scions came to my rescue, that I had friends who convinced me I was more than the sum of my worst mistakes. Now we must do the same for the people of Ala Mhigo. We must help them to heal and find the strength to, if not forgive, come to terms with who we were, and so that we can look to who we can be, who we should aspire to be. This is precisely why the work of the Silver Griffins is so vital. Though our problems are not new, the emergence of this deadly phenomenon means that we cannot afford to delay addressing them any longer, and we will be better for it ultimately. Once we've decided the course of action, you'll be the first to know. Until then, may Roger watch over and keep you. The butchers blade. We were hoping you'd stop by. I'll show Commander Alden. I'll show you to Commander Alden at once. You're welcome, sir, as always, Lieutenant. I know a lot's happened since last we spoke. The Silver Griffin's been keeping busy. As have I and my men, though, but I'm afraid we've little to show for our efforts. Although we've been searching high and low for the blasphemy, we've seen neither hide nor hair of it. Fortunately, everyone else has had better luck. We've received reports of lesser beasts throughout Raubahn. Putting them down is as important as hunting the blasphemy that got away. Complicated matters. Rumors have been circulating that these beasts were the Skull's kin. Well, this was true of the recent incident in Ala Mhigo. We cannot have people jump into conclusions given what they might feel tempted to do. It's been suggested that we take these individuals into custody for their own protection as much as the safety of others. I will only isolate them even further and give credence to the rumors. The recent unrest has hindered the efforts of the Silver Griffins to no end. Therefore, I ask that you aid them in their endeavors and see if there is aught that can be done. Also, you'll be joined by another volunteer. Try not to be too surprised. I thought I felt my ears burning. I said I don't need a keeper, but did they blow Lieutenant? Did they, bollocks? Come on, don't be like that. This is what you agreed to. Besides, you never know when you might have need of a healer, and there's none better than Arya. He's right. You've earned a measure of trust, and this shouldn't be taken to mean otherwise. Thick as thieves, are we now? Then there's no need for this soldering collar. We all know it's not coming up anytime soon. But if this is how it's to be, then fine. Well, she keeps out of my way. I want the two of you to visit the Silver Griffin's headquarters in Ala Mhigo. Several relatives of the Crania Loop I have agreed to meet with them, and we could do with a measure of protection. If anyone so much as mentions the skull, I'll deal with it, understood? Let's get this over with. She's as much at risk of turning as anyone, maybe even more so. You don't need the Echo to see the weight she's carrying. She's still not got a handle on her own Echo either. Sometimes the visions come without warning, and with such force that it's all she can do to stay standing. There's no telling what might happen if she comes face to face with the family of her former comrades, so look out for her. Please. Wish there was more I could do for her myself. We've all got our own duties, and I'll see them through to the end. So must we all. Follow Fordola's lead. We're counting on you both, but be ready to step in, even if she curses you for it. I had a feeling Raubahn would send you, Arya, but as for her... If you've got any complaints, take it up with the commander. No, it's fine. Truth be told, ever since that day at the Royal Palace, I've been thinking. Stop! You don't want to say it. You don't want to hear it. The matters at Handlin, Silver Griffins have been working to support the relatives of the Crania Lupi, but one family has gone missing, a mother and parents who lived under the same roof. One of ours paid them a visit, but they were nowhere to be seen, and when they went inside to check, they found the house had been torn to shreds. Thick gouges in the floors and walls, made by beast claws by the looks of it. You think they've turned? That's the most likely explanation. Please do what you must before anyone else is hurt. There's no time to waste. I'll head west, you head east. Okay. Hostile presence. It's very rude, I hope you know. Level 86. How are you? Oh yeah, okay, yeah, right. Fine. 86 is fine. astrologian. Don't ask me to explain it. You get 2 light speeds now, though, thanks to patch 7.001. Yay. Endure each by an envelope containing crumpled tear-stained leather. Dear Mother, I hope this letter finds you well. Time is short, so I must keep this brief. Although I have never done anything to make you proud, I promise you things will be different when the war is over. Till then, take care and know that I love you with all my heart. Placing the letter back into its envelope, you turn to your attention to finding the others. Another fill these. Yeah, we have 2 lightspeed charges. Cards are completely reworked. There's like buffing, healing, and DPS. Time-worn wedding ring. There appears to be a wedding ring with a name and date engraved on the inside. There's seemingly no more clues you find, you decide to report to Brackenford. Were you able to find anything? Yes. It is as we feared. I found and killed the third. It was carrying this. Matching ring. I'll deliver these effects to their Mexican and arrange for a funeral as close to one as possible under the circumstances. There's no change in the past. We always carry it and the scars, but no matter who we were or what we did, we're Ala Mhigans. Then and now. The Empire was our enemy then, and now is despair. Good words and deeds will serve us best in the fight. Weapons even an old man like me can carry, can yet wield. Thanks to the 2 of you, the missing villagers may finally be laid to rest. I and the other Silver Griffins will redouble our efforts to prevent any further tragedies. Finish checking this wire, sir. Everything's in order? Good work. Take a rest, lad. You've more than earned it. Keep this to yourself, but Everett's younger brother was a member of the Crania Lupa. He's exactly the sort of person we're trying to help. Like many of the others, he was reluctant to talk to us at first, but after we'd gained his trust, we were able to help him find work. He's taken to it well. It's the butcher. There's all of us, kinslayers, serving of hate and death. Hate and death. Get back! Get back! Stay away from her! Fordola has saved your girl's life. I know, but she's... It happened in an instant. That poor lad. But it had to be done without hesitation. Would have been much worse otherwise. You go after Fordola and see to her wounds. I'll do what I can here. Oh, went right past her. Oops. Fine, leave me be. I said I don't need your help. I'm a healer. Let me do my job. God, you're like a dog with a bone. Go on, then. Make it quick. That was not quick. Coral can't change its spots, and there's no washing the blood off my hands, nor would I, even if I could. Taking up Garlean Steel was the first choice, but not the last. Like the first kill, the hardest. Every choice after that became easier and easier until I stopped counting. Stopped caring. You tell yourself it's right. It's for the greater good. If you give the orders, feel the ground tremble as the cannon fires, and when the dust settles, your own men are buried beneath the rubble, and you tell yourself? You tell yourself? Me too. I won't let it take you. That man in the village, I saw his past. I'm the one who killed his brother. I'll be alright. I just need a moment. Can you wait with me? Everything the schools fought for, the sacrifices we made, the things we did, in the end, it was all for nothing. Sometimes I look back on the road I walked, and the bitterness I can still taste, and I wonder if I'd grown up in another time, another place, would I have done the same thing to a different people? Was it always in me to be me? All I know is everyone would have been better off if I'd never moved forward. But I was, and I dragged others into a hell of my own making. I remember these two brothers in particular, childhood friends of mine. The other one enlisted with me, but the younger, he would have never made it as a soldier. He was too kind, too good. Ansfrey died as Specula Imperatorus, but his brother's still out there somewhere. Not that I've got the courage to face him after what I did. I hope he's found the life he deserves. Although the cranial loop by the towers died that day, though, I know from one of my visions that at least one survived. Rudolph. I'm glad he made it out, but too many others didn't. Too many others still need our help. I helped make this last me, and by Rolger, I'll kill the bastard if it's the last thing I do. Anyway, that's enough out of me. Heading back to the city to make my report. I suggest you do likewise. Welcome back. Fordola's already given her account, and I'd like to hear yours too. So she almost turned into a beast herself. We'll have to take that into consideration before sending her into the field again. As far as the events in Alagana are concerned, the two of you did well. Despite the appearance of several beasts, you were able to prevent any further casualties. However, this serves to confirm that those with connections to the cranial lupi should be considered at risk of torture. Over the years, many of them have drifted away from the larger settlements and have taken to living in secret. Others made their way to Ul'dah as refugees, including some individuals of interest. Such will be working closely with the immortal flames of me hitting the key twice to locate and offer support to those refugees in particular. In fact, I plan to make the journey there for an audience with the Sultana. Once my preparations are complete, perhaps you might accompany me. I'm sure she'll be glad to see you. A new battleground. Here's a see Commander Alden. I take it this way, please. Our request for an audience with Sultana has been accepted. Before we depart, I'll share what we've learned since last we spoke. Blasphemy continues to elude us, while driving others to succumb to despair in turn. Even with Ala Mhigo and Yule Dawn forces searching for signs of the beast and more potential victims, we've yet to turn a pattern in the chaos. Nevertheless, if our blasphemy is like others, its behavior is likely dictated by the passions and regrets of the man it once was, like we've done this 4 times before. Therefore, any information concerning him and the life he led may help us track it down before it strikes again. We don't want people to shun the families of the skulls any more than they already are, but the fact remains that the vast majority of the beasts have been born from them. They're the ones at greater risk of turning without question. Fordola concerns me too. She came close to transforming once before, so I think it might be best if we keep her out of this after all. Seems like a waste of a capable soldier. I'm inclined to agree with Arya. She was able to resist the transformation and has shown no signs of succumbing since then. If she wants to do her part, I say we let her. If only I could go in her stead. Actually, I was hoping you'd come with us to meet the Sultana. I believe she would benefit greatly from your understanding of the struggles our people face. You'd gain from the experience too. Well, she's not the sort to brandish a sword and charge into battle. You'll soon discover she's a champion in her own arena. Brave as any warrior. I doubt she'd have much to learn from the likes of me, but it would be an honor to make her acquaintance. Arnfall and I will go ahead and wait for you at the Hustings Strip. We'll see you anon. Master Palpachon was just telling us that Nanamar, should I say, Lady Lilyra, has got another version about this today. Though it is not my place to question her grace's judgment, I do wish she had consulted me before running off on her own. Perhaps I'm overthinking it, but it's unlike her to keep guests waiting. If I may say so, sir, with blasphemies appearing throughout the land, it's a dangerous time to be going for a stroll. I suspect that may be the very reason she was to see for herself how the citizenry fare in these trying times. Even so, it's downright reckless. We'll find her, though. No, I couldn't possibly allow such a esteemed guest. Now, we might be here on official business, but we're old friends, and as you may remember, I have a knack for tracking down errant Sultanas. Some might say that knack is rather charitable. I should be glad of the assistance. I'll take a look around here. Quizzing the locals will give me an opportunity to learn of recent goings-on in Ul'dah, too. Well then, there's no time like the present. Fear not, with me on the case, this will be over before you know it. It's been some time since I last come home these streets with young Lilyra. As a matter of fact, Papa Sean and I would compete to see which of us could find her first. As we recall, most of the contest ended in my favor. The trick you see is to look past the disguise and pay attention to the gestures and mannerisms. Tiniest movement that might give her away. Come, I'll show you how it's done. Follow Raubah's lead and try not to fall behind. It's not a hat is now accompany you. It's a follow. It's not better. He's fond of perusing the stalls here. There's a wind-up alpha. I want to pet it. Must pet the alpha. Petted the alpha. Didn't fall behind. But I petted the alpha. She's not here. Where could she be? What if she's been abducted? Wow, we're running. In one of these pops? Pots, perhaps not. So you. Oh, right, yeah. Okay. I've never known her to be this elusive. That's odd. I've tried all her usual haunts, so unless she's hiding inside a barrel or something, equally nonsensical, she must be elsewhere. That's why she chooses now of all times to run off. What if she's been abducted or run afoul of a beast? There's no need to assume the worst. We should keep looking. You're right. I know, but it's hard not to worry. What could she be? Now think of it, something Papa-Shan said caught my ear. He thought Nanamo went on this excursion because of the emergence of the blasphemy beast. To understand how our people are coping with the situation. So, she'd be driven to seek out the most desperate and destitute. Pearl Lane, then. I ask you to lead the way. I'll admit my ability to track missing persons may have killed someone. Pearl Lane has ever been plagued by pickpockets and the like. I'll watch your back, so go ahead and give the search for Lilyra your full attention. JK is also in the company quest. Raubahn is now accompanying you. Let's speak about Pearl Lane. Well, it may not be the most immediately obvious. Her conditions here have improved considerably of late. Her Grace continues to support the rebuilding efforts in Giravanya, which has led to the creation of jobs for many of the locals, both here and on the other side of the Baelsar's wall. Let's ask about the poor. In every society, there are haves and have-nots, and seldom is this divide more sorely felt than here in Nilda. Many of the young and able-bodied work for Lola Rita's guards, though he earns more in an afternoon than most will in a lifetime. Something to reach. So destination. Hello. Lady Lilyra. Raubahn, whatever are you doing here? Arya too. Oh, I'm glad to see you both. Our meeting is not yet due to commence for several bells. What's the meaning of this? We're worried, and with good reason. These are far too dangerous times to be running about alone, Your Grace. Some things never changed. I assure you, I am quite capable of looking after myself in my own city of all places. More importantly, I wish to observe firsthand how the people have been faring of late. But I might be better prepared to participate in our discussion later. When I have finished, you will be comforted to hear. Then pray allow us to escort you to more amenable surroundings. Would you care to ride on my shoulder? Certainly not! You have already attracted more than enough attention. I thank you all for making the journey here during these difficult times. It is my pleasure to properly make your acquaintance. On behalf of the people of Eorzea, allow me to express my sincerest gratitude for your continued dedication to our cause. With respect, Your Grace, I'm just a soldier. Was a soldier. Still, I say, Commander Alden would not make such a distinction, and neither will I. You yet serve your people and have provided solace to many of Ala Mhigo's most vulnerable. If we are to deal with this threat, we must forearm ourselves with knowledge. I understand you come bearing information regarding the blasphemy and its victims. We have indeed. Hence the need to locate families of Crania Lupi members who have fled to Thonalon. There is no end to the struggles faced by Ala Mhigan refugees, and those who once pledged allegiance to the Empire are no exception. But rest assured that, irrespective of their past, all will be treated with an even hand. All will be afforded such aid as I am able to provide. Magnanimous as always, Your Grace. If I may be so bold to ask, I have a question. What do you have in mind for those most at risk of undergoing the change? I believe there is but one recourse. Earnest and open dialogue. While some are born into unimaginable wealth, others suffer great hardships and depression. The circumstances of our birth are beyond our control. Our fates subject to the whims of the gods, some would argue. I once thought myself a prisoner to my fate, a figurehead, helpless to watch on as my people starved, a powerless puppet. I wanted nothing more than to cast it all aside, to free us all, but failed for my naivety. And then was afforded a second chance for the privilege. For my privilege. Bleh! I was doing so well. The world is unfair, terribly so, but we have the power to push back against inequalities and injustices, if not overcome them on blessed occasions, to love our neighbor and share in life's bounties, to open our hearts and come together as one. Truer words were never spoken. But with the support of the people, such words are not but vain platitudes. Thankfully, my recent attempts to make inroads with the monetarists have met with some success. Despite differing views on many subjects, we yet strive to find common ground. Common ground. We've been pouring all our efforts into aiding families like Crania Lupi and seem to help to a degree. Some have still... Well, seem to have and while it seemed to help to a degree, some have still succumbed in turn. And of course, they're not the only ones in danger. Ala Mhigans everywhere. Whether they side with the Empire, fought for resistance, or were caught in the middle, they all suffer. They all wake up in the night or at times haunted by memories of death and despair. We know what can happen if those feelings are left to fester. The legacy of the Imperial occupation will not soon be forgotten, but rather than seek to forget, mayhap it is necessary to remember, to acknowledge and accept the truth of it, that they may properly mourn those they have lost. A remembrance. I propose we hold a memorial ceremony for those who died during the war. Everyone, no matter who they were or what they did, let them be loved, let them be hated, but above all, let them be remembered. And in the remembering of the dead, and their honor and their sin, we, the living of Ala Mhigo, may yet find a sliver of common ground. It's a noble sentiment, but bringing together people who have reason to distrust one another and risk inflaming tensions could be a recipe for disaster. Then again, we can't keep ignoring the nerd in the room and do nothing to address the situation. As long as we leave it to the individual to decide whether or not to attend the ceremony, I think it's worth a try. Organizing an event of this scale will require a great deal of effort, so I offer my full support. Once you know what's needed, come to me and we'll put the plan into action. Obviously, some will balk at the idea, which is perfectly understandable. So I'll be listening to their opinions as well. For all, we want it to be a ceremony that brings Ala Mhigans together. And I was wondering, Your Grace, if I might ask about your approach to, well, talking to people. Winning them over. As you can tell, I'm no politician, so I'd be grateful for any advice you can share with me. Why, I would be delighted. As a matter of fact, I have a number of matters I wish to discuss with you. And on that note, I suggest you and I return to Ala Mhigo. I knew our involved would make a good impression, but he has outdone himself. Oh my gosh. Not only has he found a new avenue in life to explore, he's taken to it with considerable aplomb. And while his proposed memorial ceremony is bound to have its detractors, I have faith that many will come around. Not all, but enough, I pray. For our part, we must stand at the ready for whatever may occur. I shall send word if there are any developments. Laying the past to rest. There you are, Arya. Commander Alden has asked me to convey to you the following information. At present, we are looking into reports of missing relatives of the Crania Lupi. With the cooperation of the Silver Griffins, we're currently searching for any clues as to their whereabouts. Thanks to the concerted efforts of Ragnfrid and the others, the general public has been willing to cooperate with our investigation. Though many still harbor feelings of distrust for the collaborators and their kin, they've grown more receptive to our cause on the whole. Arnvald's been making steady progress in preparing for the memorial ceremony. He plans to host a meeting between the various community leaders to go over the finer details. In fact, he was wondering whether you could assist in delivering the invitations. If you can spare the time, you should be able to find him in the Mercantile District. Anyways, that's all for now. I have a few other matters to attend to, so if you'll excuse me, duty calls. Thanks for coming. It should come as no surprise that planning a memorial ceremony for a whole bloody nation would keep a man busy, but by Roger, this is something else. The hardest part's been gathering information on those who died in the war, especially when it comes to the skulls and other conscripts, and they're the ones we need to treat most carefully. If we don't acknowledge the crimes of our kin and all their painful truth, then we do a disservice to their victims, living and dead. If we let people paint them as monsters who did monstrous things, well, things we believe we would never do, and we perpetuate a different but no less dangerous lie. As for preparing the event itself, I'll be holding a meeting with members from each of the settlements around Girabanya. I've sent invitations to most of them already, but I was hoping you'd help me with the last two. There's Rosnoon in the Peering Stones, and Sorisha and Vera Nilia. I'll give you one for each. To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if they refused, considering how their people suffered at the hands of the skulls, but I hope we can remind them that deep down, we're all just people trying to survive and protect our loved ones. We may have driven the Empire from our lands, but as long as we hold fast to the grudges born of their attempts to divide and set us against one another, we'll never be free of their legacy of cruelty. And with that in mind, I've clearly accounted my experiences with the Silver Griffins on the people I've met, victims, collaborators, their friends and their family members, their family, men and women who've lived through it all, survivors. Even if they refuse to join the ceremony, at least they will know and hopefully understand our reasons for holding the event. Granted, I have not had much practice in writing important letters, but I think they'll get the message. You being the one to deliver them will make a world of difference, I'm sure. Take care, you two. Greetings, friend. It's been too long since last we spoke. What brings you to my village? So the rumors were true. I need not read this letter in full to know its contents. I understand that Ragnfrid's volunteers are working to support the families of those lost in the war, which few will deny is a worthy cause. To include the relatives of the Crania Lupi. The skulls watched the vampires slay us in our thousands, and still they turned their cloaks and fought for our oppressors. And you would ask us to mourn the deaths of these curs alongside their victims? You have every right to be angry and to refuse. Arnvald wishes only that you read his account before coming to a decision. Mrs. Alahan would be discourteous. Very well. Family. As Noon, my tribe is family, and I know all too well the responsibility that brings. I would do anything to protect them. Anything. Loyalty, pride, conscience, my very soul. All are meaningless if I cannot ensure the safety of those I love. I suspected some skulls had been faced with the self-same choice, but to see their kin suffered? To see how their kin suffered? I cannot say I do not understand, though I wish that I did not. Their crimes will never be forgiven. They cannot be. But I, and any others who are willing, can offer our prayers for these tortured souls and the men they could have been. I accept the invitation, not on behalf of the Yem tribe, but as Noon. Though I will put the question to my people that they may decide for themselves. And I am also eager to make the acquaintance of the person who wrote this letter. He is not one to turn a blind eye to the bitter truth, painful though it is to confront. Me will be a perfect opportunity to take his measure. Welcome to what to be owed the pleasure of your visit. Here, have. And it is as I suspected. There have been rumors that such a ceremony would take place. Although you have traveled far to make this invitation, I must decline. You cannot mourn the loss of the fallen, and the cranial loop I have to be counted among them. Like the Kalyana, they chose to aid the Garlean oppressors, killing and bleeding for those who would pillage our lands. Cowards and traitors all. And are we to assume that Kalyana, who died fighting for the Empire, will be honored as well? If so, that is all the more reason for us to refuse. Arnvald understands and accepts that you might refuse. His only request was that you read his account and then decide. If you insist. No one was spared the suffering in the occupation, not the resistance, not the collaborators, not the families of both. No one. That so many would die in shame and ignominy, having sold their souls only to lose everything, is a tragedy and a lesson. If they are forgotten, then the lesson of their folly is forgotten. For the sake of this land we call home, I will join you in remembrance and implore my people to do the same. In mourning, may we strengthen our ties with our neighbors as well. By together facing our past, we can build a foundation for lasting peace and prosperity. It would be my honor to attend the proposed meeting, and I look forward to personally thanking your friend Arnvald for his dedication, and I and my peers have much to learn from the example he has set. You're right here. So how did you fare in the fringes? They said that about me. It's rare for me to get such a glowing praise, especially from renowned leaders like Sarisha and Mraz Noon. More importantly, though, they agreed to attend the meeting, and I've got you to thank for that. After all, I imagine it's hard to turn down an invitation when it's hand-delivered by the Warrior of Light herself. Before I get ahead of myself, though, I must remember that this is only the beginning. Bringing everyone together is one thing. Coming to an agreement on an extremely divisive issue is a different kettle of fish entirely, as her Grace was quick to point out. But, as she has taught me, if our cause is just and our hearts true, those of like mind will surely answer the call. And answer they have, and though there are bound to be differences of opinion, I'm sure there's nothing we can't overcome if we put our minds to it. To that end, I was hoping you could join us, if you've time to spare. There are still a few loose ends Ragenford and I need to tie up beforehand, so we'll meet you in the palace as soon as we can. Having you there will make a world of difference. Here for the meeting, yes? Yes. So while we all agree upon the importance of the ceremony, we recognize that the inclusion of the cranial lupi will be distressing for many. I too lost family at their hands, and I would never ask others to forgive and forget. But for all their crimes, they were Ala Mhigans, just like us. None made the decision to side with Garlemald lately. They had a choice, and they chose to betray us. Who among us have not made difficult choices for kith and kin? And do not forget that Fordola chose to stand between us and the Primal. What does that have to do with it? Brothers and sisters, arguing will avail us not. The fate of Ala Mhigo rests on my shoulders and yours, on those of every man, woman, and child that calls these lands home. To uphold our honor, to strive for prosperity, to protect our loved ones, we all know the weight of these responsibilities. It was the self-same weight which drove many of our people to serve our oppressors, misguided as it was. And though they chose a different, unconscionable path, in the end, we all want to do the same thing. Deliver our families from persecution, that they might live to see one more day. Because another day in shame and self-hatred was still better than none at all. To the regretful dead are survived by the despair which threatens to drag us all into an abyss from where there is no escape. Know that it surely will if we welcome it into our hearts out of disdain for those we cannot forgive. But we, Ala Mhigans, will not be so easily defeated. We will stand united and conquer this menace. Every Ala Mhigan who fought and died did so in hopes that one day we would be free. And we are free. We are free. By the blood of our fallen brothers and sisters, we are free. Free to lock away the pain and pretend it has no power over us until it festers and takes us in our beds. And free to lay it bare and let it breathe, to acknowledge and to mourn our people at their best and their worst. The past is ours to bear, all of it, for ourselves and for future generations, so that they needn't suffer like we did. Let's make Ala Mhigo a nation where no man is left behind, where he can make all the wrong choices and still be afforded the chance to make a right one. It was like looking like it was turning day in there, and it's still like the dead of night right now. That went better than any of us could have hoped for. You have my gratitude for your part in the proceedings, but we both know who the real hero of the day was. Now, this was all Arnvald's idea, and it was his words that finally won over the naysayers. Now that we have the other community leaders on our side, we should have a much easier time convincing the rest of the citizenry. Of course, holding a ceremony is by no means our final objective. No matter what we say, someone refused to attend. It is my hope, however, that it will still serve to provide a measure of closure for us all. Ease the plight of the vulnerable and ostracized. Speaking of which, you will recall the incident with Fordola and Alagana. The young girl she saved and her mother wished to thank her personally. Considering what happened last time, though, I have reservations. It will be a valuable opportunity to present the former school in a more positive light. On the other hand, I don't need to tell you how unpredictable she can be, and that's before taking her echo into consideration. That's a conversation for another day. Go and get some rest. You've earned it. Trail of Skulls. Something terrible has happened. It's Fordola. She's escaped. She was accompanying a squadron out on a training exercise. One moment she was there, and the next she was gone. I didn't think much of it at the time, but she's been acting strangely ever since she went to meet that mother and child. You know, the ones who wanted to thank her for saving the girl's life? When I told Commander Alden about it, he went charging up to Alagana to ask them if they had any idea where Fordola might be. I thought about going after him, but when I heard you were headed this way, I reckoned it'd be better to send you in my stead. Godspeed, Arya. Arya, I wasn't expecting to see you here. You've heard what's happened then? Just as Fordola is beginning to earn our trust, she's given us the slip. As you may know, she wears a choker enchanted to prevent exactly that. If I were to give the order, she would be dead within moments, and she knows that. She took the risk anyway, so I have to believe she has a good reason. That's what we're looking into now. We were hoping Clarel and young Lily here might shed some light on the matter. We'd like to ask you about your conversation with Fordola, if we may. Yes, of course. I know she's the butcher, or was at least, but it didn't seem right to go without thanking her. That's why I requested the meeting, to express my gratitude and my apologies. She was quiet at first, just stood there as we spoke, as if she weren't even listening. And then I mentioned the blasphemy, and she looked at Lily, and all of a sudden she clutched her own head and cried out in agony. The echo. You remember what you were thinking about at the time? A man, the one I saw in the city. What? Who? Did he have something to do with all these people, those people panicking? I think he did. When I was waiting for you, I saw him. He was by himself. He looked poorly, so I asked if he was alright, and he said yes. He had a nice smile. He got up and started walking, but then... he was shouting and screaming. I was so frightened. I didn't want to talk about it, not even to Mom. I wish you'd said something sooner. I'm sorry, Poppet. This is my fault for leaving you on your own. The man who turned into a blasphemy, I'd wager. The girl saw him, which means Fordola has now seen him too. There was one other thing. When Fordola was having her funny turn, she said something. Charlie? No, Charlotte, I think. Yes, that was it. Ring any bells? Can't say it does, but if he has anything to do with the skulls, the Silver Griffin should have some information on him. We best have a word with Ragafrid then. You've both been very helpful. I'd also like to thank you for being so kind to Fordola. She may not have said it, but I'm sure it meant a lot to her. I have a couple more things I'd like to ask, so I'll catch up with you later. Yeah, Charlotte, you say? Yes, that name came up during recent investigations. Their call, he served under the voice. Vice word during the occupation and his whereabouts is currently unknown. He had an older brother, Ansfrid, one of a Granny Lupi. To give him a connection to Fordola, is there anyone who can tell us more about him? Yes, an uncle who we recently helped find employment here in Alagon, and he's actually the one who asked us to look for Charlotte. You'll most likely find him working at the Sleeping Stones. As it happens, I was trying to bring him something to eat. I'll join you there shortly. Perhaps we should have asked what he looks like. Still looking at that's him over there. I hope we're not interrupting. No, of course not. It's good to see you, Ragnfrid. We're the Bull of Ala Mhigo and the Champion of the Alliance. What brings such esteemed guests to our humble quarry? At ease, my good fellow, we merely wish to ask you about your nephew. Charlotte, you found him? No luck yet, then. Anything else you can tell us more about his childhood, perhaps? Wasn't much of one, I'm afraid. Poor boy's life was ruined long before he had any say in the matter. His parents and I swore allegiance to Garlemald to secure ourselves and our kin citizenship. For all the good it did us here, living amongst our countrymen who treated us pariahs. Took its toll on him and his brother to be spat on as traitors by association. One thing led to another, and Ansfrid, together with most of his friends, joined the Imperial Army. That's how it started, you know, the Crania Lupi, Gaius's loyal little puppets. Remember the names of these friends? Yes, they had quite a reputation growing. There was Emlyn, Rudolph, and the angry little girl who grew up to become the butcher herself, Fordola. Charlotte was part of their group too, yes, but from what we've heard, he chose not to become a soldier. Would have lasted a day in training. He knew that better than anyone. Of course, not that it helped him to feel any less guilty for turning his back on the others. He blamed himself for their deaths, for not stopping them when he had the chance, but for not being strong enough to fight by their side. Maybe save them, maybe not. But he wasn't there, and he wished he had been. Then one day, he was gone. Wherever he is, I hope he's safe as well. So do we. The information you have shared with us should prove useful. And for you, I've brought you some food. While you call it a day and go enjoy it with your family. Let him have the peace for now. Back to Alagon. Not only was his brother a member of the Skulls, but Charlotte himself was a child of Brendan Fordola's. I am told he refused the support of Silver Griffins as well. He's been trying to make his own way for some time now. Brother and his friend died at Specula Imperatorus. They were Fordola, and gods only know how he felt about her after that. Or how Fordola felt about Charlotte after seeing Lily's memory of him transforming into a blasphemy. Brother of a man she killed and a childhood friend besides. We think she's responsible for this. That's why she ran to kill the beast. Never thought I'd say this, but I'm worried about her. Fordola's a survivor and an outcast herself. Exactly the sort of person the Silver Griffins are trying to support. You've seen for yourself the sacrifices she's willing to make, and if you can learn to feel sympathy for her, and maybe others can too. I think we have enough information for the time being. Let's return to the city and plan our next move. I assigned a few of my soldiers to assist the Silver Griffins in investigating Charlotte's background. With any luck, we'll find them quickly, and then we can prepare for what must come after. We're all but certain Charlotte's the one who transformed into a blasphemy, so there's naught to be done but put him out of his misery. As for Fordola, I have put Nago and her troops in charge of tracking her. Once they found her, ye have my permission to lend whatever support they deem necessary. If it comes to it, I may ask you to join the search. Until such time, I ask that you take this opportunity to rest. We get a fish. We got a fish. The gift of mercy. Thank goodness you're here. Commander Alden needs to see you right away. Follow me. I only rested for like 2 seconds. Keep it contained until I arrive, but do not engage if you can help it. Understood? That was Naga. Her has found Fordola, or rather, she has found them. In fact, I have Fordola in the search party, Sleeping Pearl. She wants a word with you. This is urgent, so be quiet and listen. The blasphemy, my friend, is right in front of us. I tracked him down, and when he spotted me, he started heading towards Specula Imperia Taurus. Look, Arya, I need your help. Charlotte's he never wanted to hurt anyone, but this thing he's become is... I can't leave him like this. I've got to stop him, whatever it takes. Wait till we get there. Do not engage. Is that clear? I owe you. This is Nago. Can you hear me? We got the last piece around. It's on the move. Get ahead of it. Maintain distance. We need to... Fordola! What are you doing? Fordola! Fordola! There's no time to waste. They need our help. Radiati and Aligiri are not that far from Specula and Imperatorus. If we let the blasphemy slip through our fingers, it doesn't bear thinking about. And while Fordola is determined to slay it by her own hand, we cannot allow her recklessness to put their lives or the lives of others in jeopardy. Time has come for action. Are you ready? I've been ready for the past 30 minutes. Hold the line for as long as you can. Commander Alden and the Warrior of Light will be here any moment. Stay strong. You've done well. Leave the rest to us. Yes, sir. Get the injured to safety. Coward. Coward. Traitor. To them. To everyone. I wish there was another way. As do I, but fighting's the only thing I'm good at. Makes me wonder how I ended up with such a clever brother. Clever for my own good, maybe, but just the thought of going to battle, about getting hurt, having to hurt other people. He is a blade hard, our Charlotte. Sooner better befriend the fly than shoo it away, much less kill it. I could kill if I wanted. I could. But you don't, and there's no shame in that. Leave the soldiering to us, Charlotte. We'll show the Guardians what we're capable of. Get the power and respect we deserve, and then things will change. They will. You'll see. We found a place for ourselves, and you'll find yours soon enough. Alright, that'll do. Everyone who's been listening, meet back here tomorrow. In the end, what good did I do? They gave everything they had to give, while I hid like a rat waiting for the storm to pass. Coward! 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 Ah! Coward! Coward! They're dead. They're forgotten. It's not your fault, Charlotte. It's not. You didn't do anything wrong, and I'm the coward, the traitor, the butcher. I'll always be the butcher. Don't you dare, Fordola! You don't get to end it. You don't get to give up. I won't let you. You have a lifetime to make amends in the town, to become something more than you were. But if you die here, you are everything they say. Everything you believe. Is that what you want? She's not going anywhere. Arenvald, why are you here? There's nowhere else I'd rather be. I can't fight by your side, but I can still cheer you on. I've seen your past, Charlotte, how you were left behind while your friends rushed into battle. It's bloody hard, isn't it? Wanting to do something so desperately with every fiber of your being, knowing that you should be able to. You should, but you can't. So you find another way to support them. Your way. You did that too, didn't you? You were there for them, even if it didn't feel like it. But you were, Charlotte. You were. As a friend of mine once said, not all heroes are forged in the fires of battle. The history of Ala Mhigo is written in blood. While we cannot change the past, we can change the future. And for that, we must all play our part, all of us. You too, Fordola. Hansfrid, Emmeline, one day we'll be together again, but not yet. You'll never hurt anyone, Charlotte. That's not who you are. You'll be remembered as the kind soul you always were. I'm counting on you. Bad idea. Awesome! I can't die until I lay Charlotte to rest. So win. I know they'll win. Lightning has been ether. Keep away from it. I'm doing a very good job at fat fingering. Oh yeah. Hey, it was like, hey, cast a Suna. What are you doing? Cast a Suna. Oh yeah, it's not for Cosmos. I could like. I ever read Macrocosmos for the record. I got my astrology on my main character to 90 like a week before that. No, I haven't really read it. It's a lot of so I could probably be overbought.
Show them what we're made of!
My shift button has been sticking lately. I think it's mad at how much I'm playing. Lightning 7 your strength. Spear. Oh. So I'm pretty sure I saw them using, yeah, they're using arm's length and all that. That's actually kind of neat. I'm sorry for the you mind? Do you mind? Honestly, barely need to heal. Out first. Get behind me. Oh, they're even like, yeah, get behind me, so. Surprised that there's a healing check in the healer one. I know, right? It's kind of amazing. There'd be a healer check in the healing solo. It's amazing. That wasn't too bad though. For the one time I remember Macrocosmos. I'm not used to playing as religion at 90. Literally not. It's fine. Totally fine. Thank you. I mean it. I've been looking everywhere for you. Have you now? We put down the last remaining beast swamped, spawned by the blasphemy. 'Tis a pity we could do naught for those who turn, but that we were able to prevent further casualties is nothing short of a miracle. Astonishing, too, looking back at Charlotte's case. Although his existence spurred others to transform, he never attacked any settlements or travelers. Even when he underwent the change in the middle of a crowded street, those who were present escaped with minor injuries at worst. I think that deep down his compassion is what kept the raging blasphemy at bay. The only time he emerged from hiding was to journey to the place where his brother died. Aye, it's clear he still retains some semblance of his former self. Another victim of the Empire's terrible legacy, along with his friends and so many others. But the Crania Lupi wasn't the creation of the Imperials alone. Many of those youths sought a place with them because they were denied one with us. That's why the memorial ceremony is so important. It's our chance to face our past together, to give them death that we couldn't in life, to not deny anyone a place in memory, even if it hurts or makes us feel ashamed. You'll be attending, won't you? I haven't been ordered to, so I suppose not. In light of your legal service, Ala Mhigo, I tend to have the conditions by which you are bound eased. Providing I'm able to obtain approval, you will be granted a degree of freedom. At the very least, we should soon have no need for that choker. There will be no objections from you. You've done well. If I didn't know better, I'd think you were smiling. Well, I, for one, can be happier her efforts are being recognized. It gives me that much more motivation to continue my work with the Silver Griffins and bring the people of Ala Mhigo closer together. Gotta do my best to keep up with a certain little lordling, I think we've done enough for one day. Time we got some rest. Allow me, as both the guardian of Ala Mhigo and as your sworn comrade, to express my thanks for coming to our aid in these desperate times. No matter what manner of disaster may befall us, your presence alone is enough to keep the flame of hope burning bright. Aye, even someone on the very precipice of despair, such as Fordola, can find salvation in your guiding light. I don't think you have forbid people would stop throwing souls in harm's way at every Heavens forbid some people would stop throwing themselves in harm's way at every opportunity. And put you healers out of a job? Not a chance. Though in all seriousness, we could all stand to take our risks. In any case, it's safe to say we've all benefited enormously from your sterling work here. We couldn't ask for a better healer or a better friend. I don't know, I feel like it's a more DPSing than I did healing, but our ambassador in Razathan will be relieved to learn of our successes here. If you happen to cross paths, give him my regards, would you? Is this our last table of Endwalker? It might be. Greetings, how goes it in Ala Mhigo? Eliminating blasphemy is helping organize the memorial ceremony. They've certainly kept you busy. fine example of going above and beyond the call of duty. I'll be sure to send word of your exploits to Ul'dah. Wait till the Sultana hears about this. Her Grace will not be the only one to welcome this news. On behalf of the Grand Company of Eorzea and our allies, allow me to express my most heartfelt gratitude. You can now dive the job-specific gear for level 90 healers. And yes, a quest just appeared because there is a quest for finishing up all of them. However, we are changing them on. Let's just do it. We're going.